Racing to the 2022 Kentucky Derby, and this time we go to Tampa Bay, Florida for the Grade 3 $200,000 Sam F. Davis. This is the penultimate prep at Tampa Bay for the Tampa Bay Derby, which will be coming up in March. And we already have one of the top 20 contenders for the Kentucky Derby, Rattle and Roll, pointing for that Tampa Bay Derby. Let's take a look at this field. It did draw an overfield field of 13, which means the outside horse, Little Vic, right now isn't also eligible. But I have a feeling we'll probably have one scratch before race day on Saturday. Starting with the main contenders in this spot, we've got a horse coming off a layoff that was bet down in a couple of stakes races last year. That's Classic Causeway. Now, Classic Causeway was pointing originally for the Holy Bull most of the winter. And then when that race came up pretty strong, they decided to kind of pull an audible and go to Tampa Bay. So Classic Causeway, he had a very stiff 6-furlong workout in 112 and change a couple of weeks ago. Then he came back with a strong 7-furlong workout. So this horse is not a short horse. He has been primed really to have a big effort. He broke his maiden debut at Saratoga, one of the fastest Saratoga runners of the summer last summer. And then came back, was bet down. He had 2 more races as a juvenile. The first time out, he had the 13th post position. He had to use some of his speed to get in better position, and he kind of flattened out late. Then the second time around, he drew the rail, and then he made he kind of saved some ground at the rail, made a move, and then was overrun late by Smile Happy. So in 3 career races, Classic Causeway has had a little bit of a rough trip or bad post position luck in 2 of them. He comes in off a layoff with good workouts. Now, Golden Glider, people will remember this horse. He won his last race at Tampa Bay. Before that, he won at Woodbine. And a couple of weeks back, it was supposed to be an allowance non-winners of 2 at Tampa Bay, and a horse trained by Todd Pletcher, Emmanuel, was going to run in that race. He scratched because he spiked a fever. Now, Emmanuel did go back and run in another Tampa Bay race and win. But Golden Glider then picked up the win in the original allowance non-winners of 2. He's one of 3 runners trained by Mark Casse in this race. God of Love ships down also from Woodbine, and then Volcanic, another recent winner. Now, God of Love ships in from Woodbine for Casse. Been working out strong for this race. Originally, again, he was going to point for the Withers Stakes at 1 1/8. I think this is a horse that wants all of that 1 1/8, 3/16 distance. So he is fit for this race. Should be a fresh face in this spot, and you're probably going to get about 7 to 1 on the morning line for God of Love. Now, Make It Big made it undefeated juvenile campaign, shipped to Remington Park, picked up the win as the favorite. The form of that race has not held up well since that win, and so that's my main question about Make It Big, is now he's got to move up in class and face some other runners that usually this field draws, 3 or 4 solid runners. Now, Howling Time for Dale Romans set some fast fractions in the last race. This time he could potentially be facing Classic Causeway on the front end, and Howling Time has had a steady stream of workouts. He's been working out with Giant Game, who disappointed last week in the Holy Bull, but Howling Time definitely a contender in this spot. Now, Volcanic, he defeated a highly regarded Todd Pletcher runner in Charge It his first time out. He did it off a layoff. He was well thought of. They had ran him in the Grade 1 Hopeful Stakes as a 2-year-old. Off the layoff, came into a maiden race from the outside post position. Tyler Leone got position and ended up picking up the victory after a stretch-long battle with the first-time starter Charge It. Kitten Mischief, he was going to run the Holy Bull. He enters in this race. Has a little bit more turfy pedigree, but has that into mischief breeding, which definitely is dirt. And then Little Vic with a little bit of speed if he does get into the race. Now, the top contenders, Classic Causeway, Golden Glider, Volcanic, Howling Time, and God of Love. I see the pace kind of shaping out this way. I think Classic Causeway and Howling Time are going to be in the front end. I think Classic Causeway showed he can rate a little bit in the Kentucky Jockey Club the last race. Howling Time is going to want to probably get to the lead and maybe slow down those fractions. Now the pressures, trademark and Make It Big. Make It Big has a potential to be on the front end, but I'm not sure he wants to do that off a layoff going up in class. And then your closers are going to be Golden Glider and God of Love. A very competitive Sam F. Davis. I think moderate fractions. We've got a couple of legitimate Kentucky Derby contenders here, possibly in Classic Causeway, Howling Time, and Golden Glider if they win this race. I think one of the other ones would probably be a little bit of an upset, but very competitive on the top end for the Sam F. Davis. We're going to have previews up of the El Camino Real. Remember, this is 10 points on the Kentucky Derby Trail to the winner, 4 for second, 2 for third, and 1 for fourth, as we continue leading you up to the 2022 Kentucky Derby.